Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. I'm so happy to be here this morning. I'm happy to have a love morning with you. We are live on YouTube and on where else? Facebook and Twitch, I guess. Come on. I know I can make this work. Okay, one more click and then yay! Oh, good morning. I am feeling so comfortable in my leisure wear here. These are my pajamas. Nope, that's not true. I feel a little bit like a fish out of water or like a polar bear in the desert. But it's a special reason. I am dressed up for a special occasion. No, I am not heading to court. I have not broken any laws that they've caught me for. Getting ready to gonna have a Valentine's Day brunch today. Lisa and I had a staycation Valentine's celebration, and then we're gonna go to a Mr. A's Ooh La La for brunch today. So I'm super excited. So I decided I would dress up early enough that I could present myself as a professional. Here, look at me, all grown up. Oh, thank you, Gary, and good morning, Gerbot. And because I'm dressed so nice, I should sing a song that's sharp. And if it starts raining out when I'm there, I'm gonna grab a tarp. And if I've got some gratitude to share, I'll sing it to the people on the floor. And if they still want to come inside, I'll get it waiting, put them in the door because it's love morning. Yeah, love morning, yeah. Okay. Good morning. Welcome, Carrie. Welcome, Gerbot. Welcome, anyone who is showing up or who is watching this recording. Please say hello. Let us know that you're here. It feels so nice to know that we are part of a collective, part of a community. More and more and more and more and more, the answer keeps coming to me that a sacred, essential ingredient in personal healing is community. So thank you for being a part of my healthcare plan. Good morning, Ashley. Curious saying that don't rush to the gift exchange. It's not happening in its traditional format today, which is good because I had told Kira yesterday I had forgotten, and I am having lunch at 11, and the gift exchange could start as early as 12. So that way I will look forward to returning from my fancy brunch with the love of my life and then get into Santa mode. Although, to be fair, I am as Santa-like as I've ever been. Ho, ho, MF and ho. Look at this white beard. Kiri says, I am grateful. I tried the best coffee place in Austin this morning. I do believe it is objectively the best. Their cherries are handpicked in Colombia. Whoa. I am so happy that it makes you happy. I am drinking ground coffee that I got at the grocery store with some erythritol or Truvia sweetener and some almond creamer. So it is a dessert experience. I do not deserve to call myself a coffee lover. I love coffee, but it's kind of like saying, you like bread when you really like is toast with a bunch of butter and honey on it. The bread is just the vehicle. Who else has something they are grateful for that they would like to share? Good morning, Silver. Good morning to you. I feel like I have a lot to be grateful for. I visited my parents yesterday, so I got to get hugs from my parents, and we timed it so that my brother and my sister-in-law were there, so I got to hug Jen and Jim and Mom and Dad, shared a few laughs with them, and I got to pick up some new shirts that I ordered from my t-shirt store, and I got one on the back. It says Gratitude Enthusiast on the back of it. And butter, says Gerbot. Kiri says, don't diminish your love for something just because you're not a connoisseur. Very true. And I have no shame. I just know that, like, if a coffee lover is trying to please me and is trying to, like, get their good beans out or something, I feel like it's dishonest for me not to give them the full picture and say, I am going to douse this with other stuff. So I'm not going to experience it in the purity way that I believe you probably believe it deserves. You know, like this, the person in the fancy steak place who's like, where's the A1 sauce? Where's the ketchup? Kiri says that 6 of 9 participants, 6 of 9 or 6 to 9 participants of the gift exchange won't be able to participate today. Okay, well then I will certainly allow it, my timing to, I will not rush myself as I am, as the circumstances where I wear a suit for a date are even more rare than Christmases. Good morning, Jennifer. Jennifer is grateful for birds singing on a rainy day. I'm grateful that I had 2 opportunities yesterday to be counsel to friends of mine who were in situations that were difficult. And it really felt good to know that they saw me as someone who would give them a perspective, a helpful perspective, a loving perspective, but also, part of both conversations were like making sure that they are calibrating to their integrity and their values as they decide, what might have consequences, and are those consequences worth trying to, avoid conflict. And it's like, well, at the end of the day, how do you want to feel about yourself? Can you feel good about yourself if someone's mad at you? Do you feel good about yourself if they're not mad at you, but you know that you didn't stand up for what you think is right, that kind of thing. And so I'm really grateful for close friends and trusted connections where we can be allies for one another in that way. Thank you, Vesper. I'm headed to Mr. A's in a little bit with my beloved love of my life. I'm also grateful last night that Lisa and I had an hour-long conversation about us and about commitment and about the ways we are growing in trust and the unknown places that we're headed and what commitment means in the context of marriage. And it was really, really beautiful. Vesper says, lucky lady and lucky you. Yes. I feel like I say I'm so lucky and I'm so blessed. And I think I also like the idea of I'm experiencing grace, there. And in some ways I feel like there is some cause and effect. It's not just luck. There were choices, and there was work, and there was struggle, and there was pain, and there was loneliness, and there was mistakes, and there was hurt caused to others, and regret, and new choices, and the culmination of that process of sometimes very slowly and over a long period of time looking at the things that needed needed work, needed effort, needed attention, needed therapy. It's the culmination of all those things that have put Lisa and I in a position to receive grace, to receive the blessings, to be lucky. Good morning, David. David says, I am grateful for my children and how well they are doing in life. That's got to be the best gratitude. I love hearing parents talk about their kids, And now that I, am not parenting Asher, but Asher is my child, and I have a better intimacy with what, the diversity of interests and activities and ways of being that kids can be. I have a better vocabulary to speak to parents. For example, you said your kids are doing well in life. What does that mean? What are they doing? Tell us something amazing about your kids, whether it's part of their personality or an achievement of theirs or something they've overcome. I would love to hear, David. Emily's saying, John, you're looking quite sophisticated. Well, I've decided no more nonsense. Life is to be serious. No, that's not what happened. Lisa and I scheduled a Valentine's Day brunch today at a fancy restaurant. So we're heading to Valentine's brunch after this. And I thought it would be a kick to show up for Love Morning in my freshly laundered suit and shirt. Good morning, Carla. I was going to reach. Yesterday I was drinking from my mug that had the picture of you, Denny, me, and Lisa on it. But today, a different mug. But sending you lots of love and know that you are a part of our home. Emily says, thank you for helping humans feel less alone on this planet by being so vulnerable and exposed and sharing your inner reality and your wisdom. Thank you, Emily. I'm grateful for a day yesterday where I got 2 deep affirmations of the value of the path that I'm living, of public sharing, of trying to cultivate humility as well as brazenness. And I had a coaching client that I was like, I practically was holding pom-poms. I was so proud of him and so able to see something that he had some shame around, and from my lens, I was like, whoa, this is a fucking victory, and I felt like it is the last 30 years of my life that gives me this vantage point with such clarity to help him re-see something that he had been clouded by, past stuff. And one thing that's come up with him and the workshops I've been doing and here is just when it can be hard to be a human. It's hard to be a human when you're just trying to do what you're told, You get the job you're supposed to, you buy the house you're supposed to, you yell at the sports team you're supposed to. It's hard. But if you get that spark and decide to start tuning more into who you are, and instead of doing what you're supposed to do, start trying to pay attention to what you are called to do, what you're being pulled to do, that has exponentially more obstacles and ridicule and way fewer cultural support networks or signs that you are okay. And so it takes a massive amount of inner fortitude, and it takes community. But the thing that I keep coming back to, and that I'm really increasing in the way that I speak about a path of radical self-expression or vulnerability, is that you can be proud that you're an activist. When you allow your truth to be in the world and to be seen, you are demonstrating a possibility to someone who may not think it's possible. You're demonstrating a bravery to take a chance that someone is scared to do. And if, as you walk that path, you start to feel a joy, you start to be anchored in something that is so much deeper than your socialization, and that is noticed by people, you don't have to lecture or preach or try to teach people. You can just keep working on being you and allowing your truth to keep coming forth and keep removing the things that are the shoulds and the exterior stuff that are distorting that inner thing coming out of you. And if you just keep working on being that, those that witness you are impacted by you. By working on being yourself, you can inspire others. You can be an activist in the world and helping people to find alternate ways of being and giving people hope. So when it's really hard, I find a lot of strength in that idea. You know, we all want to be the warrior in the epic myth. We want to be the hero. We don't want to be the coward. And the heroic thing to do, once upon a time, it may have been slaying a big reptilian dragon. Now, it's dealing with our trauma. It's having a hard conversation. It's acknowledging an insecurity or a weakness. It's being brave enough to say, this human being is on some levels so incredible, and in a myriad of ways, a mess. And at times, I am so proud of myself, and at times, I am so embarrassed and so weak. To say that with your head high, that's a warrior. And the world needs more warriors like that. So part of my dharma, I believe, is trying to do that and trying to notice when others are and say, like, yes, good job. I can tell from your flushed face that you're embarrassed right now, but you fucking tried. That was epic. That was so, bravo. That's inspiring. I got to tell my client yesterday, like, hey, just so you know, I got so much out of this call. Like, you inspired me. So, that recognition that everybody we cross paths with is a source of inspiration or learning. And anytime we get stirred up, that is an opportunity. It's trying to be these humble miracles. Kiri says, and how lucky you are to have had the impulse to make those choices. That's so true. And the thing that gets my mind in a knot is, did I ever really have a choice? Is free will real? I'm not going to go down that hole, but if you want to, knot your brain up in potentially ways that will never be fixed, go deep into simulation theory or the scientific research into free will. Gearbot says, wow, Mr. A's looks like quite the dining experience, not to mention that view. Excited for you. Thank you. Yeah, I may have been there a long time ago when I was a kid, but I don't remember. And really feels like, I mean, the perfect place to go for Valentine's Day. But, Valentine's Day, they're booked up months in advance. And I'm not usually the kind of guy that plans for events months in advance. So this worked out perfectly. I'm like, hey, can we do something casual on Valentine's Day and then celebrate on Sunday? But as I mentioned yesterday, our Valentine's Day was so incredible, so beautiful. We made art. We wrote a love letter back and forth. We shared a bath. We watched the sunset. It was magical. Vesper says, I wrote a sort of manifesto for my partner titled How to Love Vesper. I'm just going to stop right there and say, God bless you. Oh my gosh. What a gift to share whatever insights you have about you to someone who wants to love you. I wrote a sort of manifesto for my partner titled How to Love Vesper, where I listed my top values in a partner and partnership, as well as my needs and desires. I was terrified to present it to him because voicing my needs has not always been met with acceptance, but with gratitude. But he received them not only with acceptance, but with gratitude and deeper love. I am so grateful. What a incredible example of how honesty, truth, communication, voicing your desires and needs, they can be so embarrassing. And the old stories of should sometimes hold us back from, of our fear of how someone might react. But one thing that Lisa and I were talking about last night about partnership is that we are prioritizing us, which isn't to mean that we don't have experiences and chapters and struggles that we need to do on our own and time alone and things that we need to do by ourselves. But when we are prioritizing our lives, us is the priority. And if that's the case, then I want to know, and it is helpful for me to know, whatever truths are in that mind, in that heart that you are capable of sharing. I don't believe that you can ever truly know someone. I think the only person you ever truly know is yourself. And even that is scratching the surface. But if we can share the insights that we have about ourselves with our other, even if it's embarrassing, even if we're worried that it will upset them, then you get to build this trust where you're not adversarial, it's your team, it's us. And of course you have more awareness and understanding of what's going on in your consciousness. So as you share it with me, even if it's things like, I need more time by myself. I sometimes feel smothered when I feel like there's an expectation that we're going to eat dinner together every night. And on one hand, I'm so grateful that you want to see me every night, but and I'm afraid that if I say this, you're going to be hurt, but I am feeling this need to schedule time away, be with my girlfriends. And trusting that grows into deep trust. If I trust that you're going to tell me those things, if I know what you want, God forbid you get in a long-term relationship and make long-term commitments with someone who is forever, constantly trying to present the version of themselves that they think you like and the opinions that they think that you will agree with. That is not partnership. That is a very surface level compromise that does not have the power to root in truth and root in divinity. David's saying, you are looking very dashing. I'm also very great for you, as Emily, your words of love and wisdom. Grateful? I'll say it's grateful. Thank you, David. Vesper says, I do think it's important to define what things like commitment mean to each of us in relationships so we can find the freedom of love in the overlap. Very true. And that's something that we've been talking about is I think I can say this. Lisa has a little bit more of a desire to make definitions, and I am so confident in our partnership that I have complete faith that we can define things together. Our care for one another is so great that we will create and form and alter and edit as needed. But I agree. I think that it's way too easy to allow unsaid things to be assumed. In fact, that's something that came up in a hard conversation that I was helping someone with yesterday. Is I said, "Have you ever said da 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 da?" I mean, to me, it sounds obvious. I can't believe it needs to be said, but has it ever been said? The answer was no. It's like, okay, well, it's a boggling what a human mind can twist or interpret or hear differently when it wants to. The human mind is not a computer that records things perfectly. It twists and manipulates and alters our memories. Good morning, Juan. Anyone else want to share any more gratitudes? I know I'm talking a lot today. I think it's because I feel like I'm on a job interview. I hope I get the job. Gerbot says, I am grateful for my past struggles that have shaped me into the person I am today. Boy, that's so critical. And I think the advanced version of it is, I'm grateful for the struggles that my loved ones are going through, for it is making them into the person that they are destined to be. Because boy, it's hard to watch somebody suffer or lose something, but to have that faith. Do I believe in God or don't I? And you can substitute God or fate or whatever for that. Jennifer says, since you mentioned our children, I'd like to add that I'm proud of my son. He has a friend his age that has already bought property and having a new home put on it, while my son just works at Walmart and is saving money while he can. I think my son just wants different things than his friend, and I'm proud of him for living his truth and being happy with who he is. Good mom. It is a difficult balance as a parent, I say, from witnessing and watching my parents and watching other parents, not as so with a grain of salt. The intense biological need to protect and at some point recognizing that you don't know what's best for them. And so they will make choices that you feel it is your responsibility to encourage them to do the other thing. And maybe, and often you should, like, no, you should not drop out of school. But maybe they shouldn't go to college. Maybe they shouldn't, develop whatever it is that you think is the way for security and safety. And that's hard. How do you stay loving? Know that you want to protect and let go of the confidence that you know it's best, or that the struggles that their decisions will incur might not be the curriculum that they need to blossom into a truly exceptional human. Hello, Seek and Hide. Luann says, I am grateful for my scars. When they itch, I know how far I have come. Nice. Bobcat. Good morning. Bobcat says, I'm grateful for the opportunity last night to run stage lights for a Kickers reggae group at our little historic theater. Man, for someone that lives in a small town, you lead a full life. I love you. Any last gratitudes before we head off into the day? I'll have one more that I'm grateful for. I am having a very unique experience right now where I am going through the hours of archived video from Stay Sparked, where Betsy, myself, and Giannis are talking about the big questions with laughing and hard truths and sharing our beliefs and our philosophies and so like one thing I'm doing is I'm making a supercut of all of Giannis's gratitudes. So we started every episode by each of us would share something we're grateful for, and then we would go into the topic of the podcast. And so I'm making just a cut of all, one or after another of the things that he was grateful for week after week after week. And the other thing I'm doing is I'm running our full archives through an AI program that reads it, listens to it, and then pulls out what it thinks are good clips. And so I'm going through that and then finding the ones that where Giannis is speaking, and then going through and editing those and pulling out these clips of just like epic, beautiful words of that really show who he was as a man, what he believed in, what he cared about, sharing the lessons of his life. And it's this really beautiful and unusual experience where I'm spending hours with my now dead friend. And I'll find a clip that is awesome. And I'm like, I don't have this like, yes, this like joy feeling. And then I'll remember I'm making a tribute for him, or, and like one of the audiences for this is his son when his son grows up. And this like intense feeling of it's beautiful, it's sad, but I really feel like it's helping me with healing. And it reminds me of how like it gives me some positive feelings about, how much I record my life. I had this similar experience when my grandfather passed in 2007. I made a little documentary about him and about our work together with Hug Nation. And spending time with video of him was really helpful to me. I think it's part of why he's on the wall behind me. It's why I say on behalf of Grandpa Caleb every day, is because I get to hear and feel his voice and feel his energy in these videos over and over and over again. And so knowing that I'm able to create this message in a bottle for his son Rumi, or for everyone, for myself, that it makes his spirit so much more accessible to a mind like mine that is so forgetful and has trouble recalling things unless I get, a reminder. Did you ever meet this person? I don't think so. Here's their picture. Oh, yeah. Do you remember what Giannis said about choosing your family? No. Well, here's the video. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So it's a weird and beautiful process of being in the past and bringing it to the present, protecting it for the future. Yeah, I feel like it's an act of love and a tool of grieving for me. So stay tuned for some brilliance and wit and hard-earned life wisdom from Giannis when I make it live. Oh, good. Bobcat clarified it's a kick-ass reggae group, not a kickers reggae group. That sounds like a lot more fun to listen to. Juan says, I'm grateful for Stay Sparked. That's how I knew Giannis. Such a beautiful person. Dawn, look at me. Hugs to you in snowy Utah. I'm getting ready to go to Valentine's brunch with my beloved. Gerbot is also grateful for our new AI assistants that help me in ways not possible ever before, and grateful for my own collection of digital memories. Yeah, let this be your periodic reminder to back up your photos and data so that you can have these reminders of the past and bring joyful memories into your present now. My last experiences with Giannis were solemn, beautiful, but solemn, and I experienced a version of him within a shell of a body, a withered form, I could barely speak. And then I can watch some videos and watch him laugh and belt out with his low voice some life observation or some example of humility and appreciation and gratitude. And it's so nice to make sure that the memory cloud is full of good stuff. Yeah. Well, wherever you are, I invite you to give yourself a squeeze, hold your body, give yourself a hug in the body you're in, or if you're with others, with the body you're with, hug whoever's next to you if they're open to it. And as you hold yourself, recognize that you're not just holding your body, you're holding me and everyone here. You're sinking into this place that exists beyond the physical. And we are connecting in intention, in appreciation, in gratitude, and in community, in reminding ourselves and one another that we are surrounded by people who are striving for this self-growth, striving for this courage, striving for a more compassionate and loving world. And by being the change, by being examples of that in little bitty ways, we are activists. We are giving permission to others. We are letting others find the little example, little courage to maybe the world isn't quite as dark and mean. Maybe there are examples in my neighborhood that are far more real and more powerful than whatever I'm absorbing through this screen right here. So let's be that as we go into the world today. Let's take a deep breath in and squeeze one another. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb, Brother Giannis, And all of you beautiful love ambassadors, thank you for being here today. I love you. If you joined late, I am not going to court. I'm going on a Valentine's Day date with the most beautiful woman in the world. I love you. And if you know anybody in Santa Barbara, tell your friends. We still have a handful of spots for the full day men's group I'm doing with Ishmael, who is amazing. If I wasn't co-leading, I would be there.